Sometimes in high school, when people start doing things like getting their license, getting a job, or just becoming an adult in general, they become some of the most annoying individuals for no reason. Let me paint the picture for you really quick. So there would be kids who would finally get their license once they turn around 16 and would usually get a car to drive soon after. In that very moment, half of their sentences revolved around what they did with their car, how they drove to school or to the store that day, and how they parked their car far away and they don't feel like walking all the way to their car that they parked after driving on the way to school that day with their car. And while they're talking about their car all day and how much they drive it, you just hear their little keys jangling out of their pocket. Like, why is that the immediate thing that people do as soon as they got their car? Now, sometimes these people were actually pretty cool. Like, they'd offer you rides just for the sake of seeing their new car, or they really work hard for their new car and you can't help but feel happy for them. But damn, why do some people have to make their cars their entire personality? I mean, unless they're like car guys or girls, or whatever. Now, I've even known people who got into a little fender bender their first times driving on their own. Just a little scratch, nothing too crazy or life-threatening. These people, who have made their car their personality already, are now going to talk about this crash for the next 3 weeks, and I have no idea why it was like this. Honestly though, I feel the most annoying people were the ones that always try to one-up others by the distances that they've driven. Oh yeah, yesterday I took my friends to Knott's Berry Farm, which was like a half-hour long drive. Oh my gosh, well last weekend I drove all the way to San Diego, which was like a 3-hour drive with traffic. It was so long and I was all by myself. And it's not just one time that they'd specifically talk about the distances they'd driven. They'd go every week and they'd have to tell everyone. Every single week. Hey, also, I can't be the only one that thinks that the year between being 17 years old and 18 years old has got to be one of the most inconvenient years. Like, what do you mean these 18-year-olds at my school, just months older than me, are able to just be like, hey, I'm bored and low-key hungry, I'ma just head over to Chipotle right now, and just disappear for half the day? Like, damn dog, I'm hungry too, take me with you. Oh wait, I can't go, I was unfortunately born a few months later than you were. Aw man. So at my school's senior checkout day, which required all the seniors to wait around in the auditorium and pretty much lasted the entire day, if you were lucky enough to check out before the school day ended, you could just leave and go home. Only if you turned 18 before the school year ended. So of course, you'd have your friends who are the exact same grade as you, look at you, smirk, and be like, oh well, I'm gonna go and get blah 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 delicious sounding food. Yeah, this definitely got me jealous. So me decided, you know what, for the first time in my entire high school career, I'm gonna squeeze through the fencing of my school and get some food myself. There is absolutely no reason why a couple months difference in age should become a barrier between me and my much deserved lunch. So I did that, went to the same place that my friend did, and I could not explain how great it felt to see them looking back at me, burrito in hand, confused and surprised. Even though that was a pretty funny and memorable moment, if my birthday was just situated sometime before the month of June, I literally could have avoided having to squeeze through the fence and instead could have just walked out normally. Now once the school year ended, people are flocking to the nearby plazas throwing out job applications every single hour. Now if the job they applied to was responsive enough to give them an interview and ultimately the job, it was finally time for them to settle into that new workspace and finally start gathering their bread. Now why, just why, do people have to complain about their job at any opportunity that they get all of a sudden? Like, I'm not saying that it's wrong to complain about your job, and I get that they're stressful sometimes, it could take up a lot of time, thus taking a toll on your mental. I totally get that. But damn, sometimes it's like the only conversation starter that they have is rambling about how agonizing it is to wake up and go to work, just like the other hundreds of thousands of civilians around them. Shut up! And they most likely woke up just as early to go to school before, but now that they have a job, just like the rest of the world, it's torture and everyone's gotta feel bad for them? Oh, and by the way, these will literally be the same people who work at like an ice cream shop across the street from them, but they make it sound like they're slaving away at a sweatshop day in and day out. So what am I really getting to after this entire rant? Well, I don't know, I guess it's just funny to rant about the way people talk when they're reaching adulthood, especially since in just a couple years time, almost everyone you know in high school will have gotten the driver's permits or licenses, turned 18, and began working. None of these things will remain their personalities, thus there's absolutely no point in mentioning these things as much any longer when everyone has them already. Why do people do this? Probably for attention, I guess, but I think we all do it sometimes without realizing. And I think it's completely normal for people to tend to talk more about their small progressions toward adulthood when it's only ever relevant in the short period of time in their life. And to me, that's a bit crazy to think about. Hey, I mean, that's life, right? But yeah, see ya.